Hey guys, okay, I thought I'd try and get a bit of a better video for the threading on the Taig. Basically, I've got the tailstock moved up, handle's still loose right now, but I basically just butted up the die. I'm going to try and cut a 10-32 thread on just a piece of brass that I've got. It's just chucked up in the four-jaw chuck there. So basically, I haven't even started it yet, but I've just kind of butted it up to the piece, and it's got relatively square. Basically what I'm going to do is try and do this in a few parts just because I am holding a phone. So basically what I'm going to do is start turning the headstock by hand while I'm feeding just a little bit of pressure on the tailstock end. So I'll probably stop the video here and stitch it together, and you'll kind of see where I'm going with it. So as you can see, I've got the thread started here. Again, it's a 10-32 thread on just a piece of brass. You really don't need much pressure on the tailstock when you're pushing the die onto the piece of material, just because it is brass. It's pretty soft. I'm not using anything but a little WD-40 just to prevent the die from gumming up. But as you can see, once you get it started, really, you just have to feed it by hand, and it kind of follows the thread on its own. So the tailstock will feed backwards when you're backing it out a bit on its own. You know, obviously you don't want the wrench to fall off, so don't go too far, but I just backed it off enough that you can see the threads. But then when you go to cut again, because you want to back it off every few turns so that your die has some room to cut and doesn't get too full of chips. So as you can see, I'm just turning it in really easily, and it's following the threads forward on its own, because the handle's resting on here. You don't want to put too much pressure on it because you don't want to damage your lathe, but as you can see, you get right up to the end where it starts to want to cut again. And I can't show you this because I'm using my phone, but basically you just turn it until there's a tiny little bit of resistance, and then that's where your other hand's going to need to come into play here. So basically now all I'm going to do is put a little bit of pressure on the tailstock lever and turn the headstock by hand a little bit, and just keep cutting threads forward. And you just kind of keep going forward, backwards. If you need to back it off again, turn it to the other side gently, and then just slowly turn it back, and it'll start threading out on its own. And it's nice because the tailstock kind of keeps it a bit square in the lathe. I did buy a better tap and die kit, so this one cuts really nicely. But like you can see here, the thread's just backing out on its own, and that tailstock just moves out on its own. So it's pretty easy. Like I said, it's just something I figured out on my own. It's nothing new. I just thought I would show how it is doable on the Taig, just to share. I'm definitely digging this little machine, so any tips always help. Hope that helps. I'll show a video of the final piece. All right, so here's the finished product of the brass piece that I just cut a 10-32 thread on. Definitely happy with the thread depth on this one compared to my first go, but and also another point, I guess, is you should normally taper the end of your piece to get the die started a little easier, but with the brass it's so soft that it was really easy to get going. But I'll probably still file it down a little bit. So that's basically it. I hope you enjoy it. Hope it helps. Bye.